Hi everyone. After graduating with a 44 out of 45 points in the November 2018 IB session, a lot of people, including the students I tutored, constantly asked me to share some of my top advice. I relied heavily upon the valuable insights of graduates and hence would love to pay it forward by sharing my perspective. I hope my input can benefit you and maybe guide you on your IB journey. So please don't hesitate to reach out and ask any questions. Today, let's start with my top 3 IB advice. Number 3, avoid feelings of guilt at all costs by reversing your mindset. With 6 subjects, IAs, EE, TOC, and endless amounts of tests, there will always be something you can or should be doing. Hence, many people experience guilt when they're not studying. Personally, I felt that way at first during my co-curricular activities. For example, my schedule was filled with numerous leadership responsibilities, basketball training, music rehearsals, and also many volunteering and community service commitments. I always felt behind, and it made me feel guilty for devoting so much time outside of my studies. However, I later realised that there is a limit as to the amount that you can study, and you can actually turn extensive co-curricular endeavours into an advantage. I didn't want to give up any of my hobbies, so instead, I reversed my mindset. What I mean is that from then on, when I was participating in activities, rather than thinking about the work that I could be doing, I convinced myself that this is my reward for the hard work put into my studies the day before. By adopting a mindset where all leisure activities were justified as a reward, I not only avoided the demoralizing feelings of guilt and possibly of procrastination, but also became more and more motivated to work harder so that I could experience that same sense of accomplishment from the reward. It also gave me a good balance where I would always feel refreshed when hitting the books academically. Of course, you actually need to be accountable and actually give 100% the night before, or else you're just cheating yourself. That probably fosters even more guilt, so avoid that. Always remember that to truly enjoy leisure activities, work before the reward. Tip number 2, sleep over finishing work. If pulling a few all-nighters and getting in a few extra hours each night improves results, I will do it too. However, IB is such a long marathon, not a sprint. Personally, for the great majority of the 2 years, I kept a strict routine of going to bed at around 10:30 p.m. and made sure to prioritise my 8.5 hours of sleep. I made no compromise on this. Unfinished work was not an acceptable excuse. I forced myself to be accountable by completing any work before bedtime. I did everything I could to not fall behind into the IB vicious cycle where you sleep less, can't concentrate as well the next day, then take longer to complete work, then sleep even less, lose out on more efficiency, then take even longer to finish the work. Yeah, you get the point. It's a vicious cycle of downward spiral, and luckily, you can stay away from it by entering into deep dream mode, which hopefully actually allows you to capture that elusive 45. Number 1, stay humble because all perspectives matter. If you think you can do well in the IB without relying on other people, then you're probably going to regret it. Whilst you can work hard, time is so scarce in IB, so you also need to work smart by not doing unnecessary studying that wastes your time. Seeking out advice from others is honestly the thing that helped me the most, because I always benefited from the perspectives of others. There are just so many tips and tricks that you can't learn from the textbook yourselves until you've actually been through it all. Learning from teachers is important. Seeking advice from graduates is also invaluable, but don't just listen to the 44s or the 45s. There's a reason why the 45s achieved a perfect score, but there's also a reason why the 24 barely passed. Both their perspectives can actually help you. The 45 can share insightful strategies, but a 40 scorer may just offer something more practical. Someone like IB like Cole, or a graduate who scored 41, probably provided me with some of the most useful tips. In addition, the mid-30 scorers can often open another unique perspective. A friend I looked up to severely underperformed to achieve a mid-30s, which, by the way, is still a very, very good score, considering the difficulty of the IB. He kindly shared some of his regrets, which allowed me to avoid the same mistakes. Equally, I learnt from the high 20 scorers, and even though they may not have the most amazing score, they may have just reached their own personal best, and their love of learning and resilience throughout the journey can be very inspirational. Having these perspectives steered me in the right direction. I can think of at least one person with each score, a 45, a 41, a 37, a 28, who have helped me by providing valuable guidance. So what I realised through this is that people are not defined by their scores. They're unique individuals and you can learn from their mistakes or their experiences and always take something valuable from them. So stay humble and don't be afraid to reach out. And just remember that all perspectives matter. These are pretty general advice, but I do hope that they're helpful. Feel free to ask any questions and I hope to continue providing useful insights. Thank you.